In the studios, Thomas Nyakwampem. He is the finance officer of the Inter-Ministerial Coordinating Committee on Decentralization. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us.
Good afternoon.
Now, today marks International Decentralization Day. Do you think as a country we've come to accept the concept of decentralization?
Yes, actually today, the Decentralization Day is tomorrow, the 10th of August. But because it's a Saturday in Ghana, we chose to celebrate it today. And we are celebrating it with a press conference which we just finished to raise awareness of decentralization and the need for everybody to get on board. And your question was whether Ghana has embraced decentralization. Yes, we have all come to accept decentralization as a way to govern and a way to speed up the process of development in the country. And it's actually a constitutional provision. The Constitution mandates that as much as possible, all our governance processes must be decentralized. So it is not a choice at all. Nobody has that choice. We have all collectively decided that we'll govern through decentralization.
What has been some of the successes chalked so far?
A lot. So if you look at decentralization as opposed to centralization of governance, since 1988, when we started this current decentralization process, we have had a number of districts created. Some are against the increase in the numbers, and so something is being done to check that, so government upon government don't come and create new districts all the time. But we have increased the numbers from 110 to 216 metropolitan and municipal district assemblies as we currently have. And that has ensured a somehow even distribution of resources. Now nobody sits at one place to determine that this project goes here or that project goes there. That is being minimized. Each assembly is given some amount of money for development, and the people determine themselves what they want to do. So development is now owned by the local people because they determine what is more important to them. They prioritize their development projects, and that has helped a lot.
You rightly did talk about development being owned by local people. Now let's look at recent development in the country. What readily comes to mind? There was rioting by some youth in Tuba, and then there was one at Asham. And does that suggest that local people are not really being involved in national development in relating to these instances that have happened?
We don't have a perfect system. The decentralization that we seek to achieve, we have not fully achieved it yet. And that is the whole essence of the press conference we had today, and the need for us all to make people aware of their role. And so, you see, over the years, decentralization has been supply-driven. Government determines that we will do this, we will decentralize this aspect, we will devolve. We are doing all these with the help of the media and everybody to conscientize the general public that you need to take part in whatever decisions that affect you. And so we believe that if we achieve full decentralization, all these will be minimized because people will know that they have a part to play. There are avenues to address some of these challenges, that if you want a road to be constructed, it is your assembly that you need to channel this information to, that these are our priorities. You are represented at the assembly by assembly members, so they determine the budget of the assembly. So all these are the things that we are making the general public aware of.
Now let me put you in the somehow tight corner now. The president's nomination of persons into DCs and LNDCs, we've had protests over these nominations. What do you make of these protests?
You see, these protests are happening not for the first time. You remember that in 2004, when the MPP government was re-elected, they also had these challenges. In fact, anytime there is a new government, a new political party wins an election, the system is not that much of a problem because every sitting DC knows that I am leaving, a new set are coming. Now, it is the same government And so all sitting DCs would expect to continue. And they may also have stepped on certain toes, so some people also want them out and all that. So it is a challenge, and we appreciate the call for an election of DCs. And as a matter of fact, the president himself has stated on several occasions that he would make sure that DCs are elected, and he is committed to it. So we hope that very soon all the preliminary works that need to be done will be done, and then we'll see election of DCs.
In electing the DCs, which approach should we take as a country?
You see, the Constitutional Review Commission made some recommendation, and government also issued a white paper on it. And the government white paper states clearly that government will, or the president will nominate 5 people who will be vetted by the public commissions, and then 3 will be presented to the district for elections. So the best 3 will be presented to the whole district, for every voting member of the district to vote for their choice. In this case, we are satisfying almost all parties, because the general public is taking part in who becomes their DCE. And also the president will still have to nominate the people, because Ghana is a unitary state, and the president who has been elected should be able to implement his programs in every district of the country. So if we just make it open for just anybody, it may be difficult for the president to implement some of his programs in some districts. That is why this arrangement has been proposed.
Okay, finally, before I let go of you, what do you think is the way forward for decentralization in the country?
The way forward is what this government has started. We have to have a clear path to the implementation of our decentralization processes. So in 2010, we adopted the decentralization policy framework and action plan after a wide consultation, district, regional consultations with political parties, and we have come with a document that is widely accepted by everybody. So irrespective of which government is in power, irrespective of whatever, we will all pursue that. And so the process of decentralization is being accelerated.
Thank you very much for your time. We've been speaking to Thomas Nyakwampon. He is the Finance Officer of the Interministerial Coordinating Committee on Decentralization.